our guests now, are Polish-born artists, but working internationally, and since years, I think, they are creating and making performances and the art artifacts, videos, installations, and also they are creating the associations around their art practice. And today two Alicias will give us a presentation about their art activity and the plans for the next projects, especially something which may be called cooperative museum or something like that. I don't know. Maybe you will give us more what strict information about it. Okay.
Thanks, Bartek, for the introduction and for inviting us as well. And thank you, everyone, for staying for this extra talk. I'm sure you had a very busy morning. So yeah, much appreciated. Thank you. So yeah, we are two Alicias, just to confuse everyone. And we basically met and started working together because of our common interest in the cooperative movement, its legacy, and what it can do now and also in the future. So the structure of this presentation is I will share my screen, and we have some slides there. And first we'll have Alicja Wysocka present her projects for about 8 minutes, right? And then I will present my projects for the same amount of time, and then we'll talk briefly about the project that we're planning to do together next year, actually at the Museum of Cooperative Movement History of Cooperative Movement in Warsaw. So yeah, if you have any questions at any point, just raise your hand, or yeah, we're such a small group, you can just probably speak and interrupt. Okay, sure. I'll try sharing my screen now. If you could just give me a shout if you can see it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, Alicja.
Yeah.
Over to you, Alicja Wysocka.
Aha, so but now it's you on in the small icon. Maybe it's okay. Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Alicja Wysocka, and I created kind of like alter ego more than 10 years ago now, and it's called Alpha Omegi, and the name comes amongst the other from Omega workshops, which were initiated in London in 1913 by a group of the artists. And what I then realized after some time was that like my interests in art practice are very much in common with cooperative principles. And what I liked in this Omega workshop movement, or like it was like kind of enterprise, was that they it was initiated by the artist Roger Fry, and he was giving the opportunity for the artists to earn extra money for doing craft. and they were signing this craft. They were not putting their names, but they were putting Omega logo on the products, which I also liked. This idea of like collective authorship and the labor and the craft and like this kind of cultivation of labor and this kind of independence from the market and art market. So maybe we can move to the next slide. And so I was always finding myself like in between, like art market and like something like activism or like or like craft. So I was always trying to combine all of those factors. And in 2017, like I started to going to Kenya like since 2015, and like in 2017 I went to Kenya for like 5th or 4th time with this idea of creating the place for the inhabitants of Mathare slum, which is located in Nairobi in Kenya, like to give this like possibility of working together and like developing the skills. And so this place now is consists of like 10 members. All of them are women, which also like shows like that the women are has the most difficult economical struggles in the slum specifically. So we can move to the next slide. And so Ushirika Cooperative, that's the name. Ushirika in Swahili means cooperative, and also collaboration and cooperation. And Ushirika is now the part of the Arte Util archive. It's a kind of archive which combines art projects which are kind of useful for the society, for the members, and have some like significance and make some changes in the society, in the reality. So I was it was this Arte Util was initiated by the artists from Cuba, Tania Bruguera, which I also very appreciate, and I was really happy also that Ushirika is the part of this archive. Yeah, we can move to the next slide. And I also like introduced Ushirika to the art gallery where I showed it the installation in 2017 in Local 30 Gallery during it was, I guess, Warsaw Gallery weekend, and the name of the exhibition was Do or Die. And during this exhibition, like visitor could like it was a kind of pop-up store, so visitor could like buy the products and to and or to try shoes, because maybe I didn't tell at the beginning that this place focus on producing bags and backpacks and dresses. So also like the members are the curators, so it's not like the design is not mostly given by like from someone from outside, but the members are also like creators of the design. Yeah, we can move to the next slide. And also I collaborated with the cooperatives from Warsaw, like one of the oldest cooperative, which were focused on creating the shoes, and it's located in Praga district in Warsaw. And for the exhibition in the same gallery, I showed the shoes I created together with the shoemaker from this cooperative, and I was trying to make a model with them, which is like non-leather use of like non-leather shoes. And I also was like, this place at the time was struggling very much to sustain because of course of like big like after like 90s there were so many goods from outside imported, and obviously it really was it was a very big cooperative at the time, and now it's very small. And I also showed we can move to the next slide. And I also showed the catalogs from this cooperative where there were like catalogs with the designs of the shoes made also by the workers. We can move to the next slide. And so as Bartłomiej mentioned, I also started to collaborate with Museum of History of Cooperative in Warsaw. And I went there before my first trip, before initiating a cooperative in Kenya. So I went there in this kind of non-abandoned museum, and it's not really visited by visitors frequently. So I want to kind of like open the doors to the visitors and to show also to the art world also this museum. And so I organized a kind of small exhibition within this museum. So I was like, I invited around 8 artists, including Alicja Rogalska. And in this museum, there is like many about bank cooperatives and milk cooperatives and any others, but not really about like art cooperatives. So I also was trying to touch this topic during this exhibition. So we can move to the next slide. So this is like one of the installation during this exhibition, and this is like video from which I shot with my friend Iza Kochanowska in Cooperative Isis in Warsaw, which is one of the oldest cooperatives, cosmetic cooperatives in Poland. And so we were just like made this video like showing the place, which didn't change that much within those like 60 years of existence. We can move to the next slide. So they also produce their own creams and cosmetics. We can move to the next slide. And now you can see here they also have like shop downstairs on Marszałkowska streets with their products. And we can move to the next slide. And now it's Alicja. Thank you so much. And now.
Okay, I couldn't unmute myself. Cool. So I'm Alicja Rogalska. I'm going to talk about 2 projects, which are Wespół, which is kind of the old Polish word for together. And it was a project I was commissioned by this public art festival called Arteria in Częstochowa to develop a project based on this idea of a common good or commons. And it was around the time I read an article about the original author of a game that then became Monopoly, which was actually called the Landlord's Game. So it was actually created in 1904 by Elizabeth Maggie Phillips, who was a feminist and also socialist activist. And she created the game as a critique of capitalist values, and the game had two different sets of rules. One was to show the kind of evils of capitalism and what happens when you have monopolies, and the other set of rules was what happens when people actually collaborate and work together and create kind of cooperatives. And that it didn't end well. So the patent was bought in, I think, in the 30s by a man who encountered the game at one of the parties, because it was kind of never published. It's circulated in sort of handmade copies, and then sold it to Parker Brothers, who then produced the game, and it became, you know, the man sort of who bought the patent became a millionaire. The woman who created it was erased, and also the other kind of the critique that was inherent in the game was also lost as a result. So so I was kind of inspired by this story and wanted to and started to look at kind of this sort of history of games and how they kind of are linked to implicit or explicit values in society, and whether there are any alternative games to the Monopoly. I tried to kind of track the history to see what happened. So started looking at different board games. There's the Anti-Monopoly, which was created in the 70s by a professor in America who subsequently was sued by Monopoly, and there was like a 10-year battle. He won in the end by actually bringing out the story of Elizabeth Maggie, the original creator of the game, which was buried. So I kind of looked at that, and also some amazing vintage games such as the Class Struggle, which you can see on the right, which is not necessarily about cooperatives, but sort of, yeah, it's a cooperative game in its structure. And then Cooperly, which is the only game I found, produced in 2011 by the Tessa Collective, who produced great games. And it was about kind of running a cooperative. But after testing all of them, I realized the games are quite sort of general, and also there isn't anything in the Polish context as well. They're quite general. It was about sort of coming together and working together, but I wanted to create an educational resource about actually like how do you set up and run a cooperative with all the kind of legal and admin hoops, you know. And so I organized a series of workshops where I invited social economists, psychologists, game enthusiasts to work with me on the design of a game about running a cooperative and setting it up. So this was the after 2 days of workshops, this was the sort of basic design for the game we came up with, and then we managed to secure some more funding to develop it further. So the middle of the circle is the process of setting up the cooperative. So you kind of have to go through different hoops, like registering it for with the local authorities, but also for insurance purposes, and even getting a stamp, you know, and so on and so on. And then it's actually running the game, and we have different forms of capital as well, not just the capital, but also social capital or other aspects. And the game is actually was then designed to be printed out, available. It's available online. I'll show you a link in a minute. It's only in Polish for now. Apologies for that, but it's available online. Anybody can print it and then play So it's yeah, the plans are to develop this further in the future, maybe to make like an actual box game. And this is the link. I'm not sure if you can see it, where the game is available. I can share it later as well. I can share the slides. Okay, and then the next project I'll talk about is I was invited by an organization in Lincoln in the UK called Mansions of the Future to develop a local project in a context. And I realized that actually Mansions of the Future were located in a building owned by the local cooperative, and actually the local cooperative gave it for free. So it was like a temporary cultural center, which was there for 2 years. But none of the artists invited actually did any projects around the cooperative movement, even though it was really linked to the history. And I did some research. It turned out that the Lincolnshire cooperative was actually really big and successful. At the moment, I think it has something like 280,000 members. And it's also been one of the biggest developers in the city, which is one of the reasons behind its success. So, so what I did for the project, I did a series of events that were looking at the kind of legacy, and that culminated in a kind of publication, which is on one hand, you can learn about the local cooperative history, but there are also activities, so you can use it as a toolkit as well to do different things. One of those activities was I did those sort of plein air sessions, so members of the public were invited to come and paint and draw different buildings that were linked to the local cooperative history, because many people were not actually aware of the history of those buildings. So this was an actual event that happened, but we also produced the map so people can actually go around and spot those buildings. And actually the kind of architecture of Lincoln is really was really affected by the co-op movement. And here you can see some of the historical pictures from the kind of archival research, and then some of the images from the day where we were drawing and painting. Another event, there were more, I will just talk about two, was looking at the kind of history of music, and especially cooperative choirs in the UK, but also locally in Lincoln. So I did a lot of research into different types of songs, and here are some of the songbooks that I encountered. And then I invited 5 local choirs, including the co-op choir. So the Lincolnshire Cooperative has its own choir, but also like a punk choir and other ones to come together and perform a selected number of these old songs in this beautiful modernist church in Lincoln. So this was an event as well. And that's it from me from now. And I've also been kind of trying to get involved with the Museum of Cooperative History. And Alicja will speak a little bit more about the exhibition last year that happened finally after many years of trying to do something there, which is called Collective Capital. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I think I will talk briefly about it. So here you can see more of the inside of the museum. So like here are some like interventions maybe you can't see like from the first glimpse, but for example, like there is Alicja's game on this table on the left picture on your on the left corner. And so this like the how the museum looks like a bit. And then underneath there's Aleka Poli's installation. those like flags from her like this kind of initiative of making the cooperative of artists called Robert. And then you can also see the vases of Paweł Olsztyński. Those vases he found in this cooperative, ceramic cooperative in Wysocka, which doesn't exist anymore. But he found unfired, unburned, I don't know how we name it, vases, which he painted and burned. So yeah, we can move to the next slide. Yeah, so this is also like this video from the Easy's cooperative at Marszałkowska Street, which was also like they had many stores in Warsaw, and now there's 3 left in Warsaw. So we made this video, as I already said. And there is also like audio installation of Weronika Wysocka on the piano, and also Katka Bleichert, who has exactly in this building of this very beautiful building where the museum is located on Jasna Street in the center of Warsaw. She has her hairdresser salon, which is also kind of working as a kind of cooperative on the cooperative principles. So she also made her like installation of like she was like documenting different hair salon in Chicago. So we can move to the next slide.
Yeah, so this is a project we're planning next year. We're just trying to secure some funding, and basically we want to collaborate again with the Museum of Cooperative History in Warsaw, and the idea is to focus on the involvement of artists in the cooperative movement, both historically, but also looking at the future. So the idea is to actually form an artist cooperative as a result, and also hold an exhibition and a series of different events to kind of look at the archives and the collection of the museum, but also try to activate it. So yeah, Alicja, do you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, so we can go to the next slide. And so I just sent in the group chat the link to the fan page which I just made. So it's only 1 like, which is mine. But there we're gonna upload some more info about the panels and workshops and discussions and exhibition we wanna make in this museum. And and the outcome one of the outcomes we want to start a artist cooperative in Poland, which also is kind of I think would be kind of solution for the artists, because me as an artist, for example, I don't have in Poland insurance, or I can't, if I want to like sell my artwork, I can't really like do it kind of legally if I don't because I don't have any art gallery which represents me. So it's kind of the solution for the artists also like to be to have this like also law like behind. So yeah, you can see here the building where the museum is located, and some like prints from the archive.
Yeah, and the interior. Yeah. Okay.
So you're very much welcome. The exhibition probably will be in June. And yeah, we're gonna post more info on the fan page.
Yes, and also so there will be interventions by different artists as well in the collection, and also responses, like artistic responses. But we are also interested in yeah, like Alicja said, setting up this cooperative, but we want to also do an event where we invite other artistic cooperatives to share their experiences from other countries and other contexts, to be able to learn how to do it in the kind of most effective way. And I think in Poland it will be quite difficult, like legally and so on. But yeah, we're planning to go ahead with that and spend the next year kind of researching and through this project making it happen eventually. So yeah, if you have any questions, please say. That's it from us. Or Alicja, did you want to add something? Sorry.
Yeah, of course, if you want to collaborate, we love to collaborate, both of us. So you're welcome to reach us. And I think on the last slide, there is our emails. Yep.
There's the Facebook page, which Alicja just made just now. So there's not much content yet, but just if you want to keep in touch, you can add yourselves or like it. And then our email addresses as well. So yeah, that's it from us. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. If you would like to talk with Alicja's, we have about 3 minutes, and maybe it will be enough if someone has a short question for them.
I don't have a question, but I have a comment. It was super interesting. The story about Monopoly game was amazing, really. But when I was listening this first part about you tracking old cooperatives who are now in decline phase, I felt inside like a sorrow. And I also had this feeling that I totally appreciate that you're finding those people doing this stuff in cooperatives mood or design, but in the same moment when you put it in a museum, it makes me think about that as a relic. So everything is from me being like a part of the, Warsaw society bubble. I'm looking at this as some kind of like relic in the museum, not something which is vivid and we can really make sure that it could continue. So if you could like really shortly comment on my feeling, because it's like, it's really a tension in me in being super interested in your exhibition, but in the same moment, I had this feeling that you're putting this in the museum and make this more like a relic, not as a vivid part of our current situation. If you understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so I can, do you want to start or shall I start? Of course, that's the danger. But first of all, we thought it's really important because many people actually don't know about this heritage. And they don't know about the existence of the museum. They don't know about this like vast number of cooperatives that were present and still are. And we thought it was important to kind of look at the past to be able to look into the future. So the project, that's why it has the kind of 2 parts. So one would be a kind of historical exhibition looking at artists in the co-op movement. But the other part is more looking at what we can do with that knowledge, so hence the idea of setting up a cooperative for artists, the idea of actually using the game that I presented to get people interested and also educated about the possibilities that there still are of setting up different co-ops, and also so we kind of want to come out of that museification through those sort of activation aspects. So yeah, definitely, even there is like an idea to do maybe a future-oriented kind of economic sci-fi kind of reading group looking at the ideas, like futurist ideas and cooperative movement. So yeah, I would answer in that way, that we're just kind of using the museum as a springboard to actually try and interest people in this as a practice that is still very much present, but also could take us into a different future. If that answers your question.
Okay, I think that we have 1 minute. No, nothing. To the next session. Sorry for this very short time because we was late. Maybe we can do about 3, 4, 5 minutes break and start the next session, which is dedicated to the economical and sometimes technological aspects of cooperativism. Thank you, Alicja, and thank you, Alicja, for your presentation. For me, it was very interesting because I'm your supporter since about 2 years, and your super work. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.